Crowley Nature Museum. High strangeness always abounds there. Dixie, who runs the place, came across something interesting today. So I'm gonna go out there and check it out. I'll hit you back as soon as we get out there. Peace. So here with Dixie, she called us today, left a message. She had some interesting finds down by the river here. As you can see, some clear tracks. And what makes these kind of unusual? How did you find these?
Well, I was checking border boundary for our property here and doing some investigating. I saw a bunch of vultures, so we've had some random dead animals in this area, and I wanted to make sure that there wasn't anything in the water source that was going to affect my cattle. And as I was walking along, I saw these, and I was like, man, that looks pretty big, you know. But there's my woman's size 9.5 work boot next to that, and as you can see, I don't sink in. So I just sent a picture to Stacy. I was like, I thought he might appreciate seeing that. There should be no one here. This is private property, and it's not an easy journey in.
Yeah, you can take a look around. This isn't like
there's multiple barbed wire fences, and no one is supposed to be here. So
yeah,
it was hard enough for me to get over here coming through this way, so I just thought it was a little strange.
Yeah, and what's interesting is a couple things you mentioned. There's, you know, animals, and you've mentioned this before, in and around here that seem to, you know, whether it's just in the general vicinity, turn up dead, and it's weird. It's like not predator, no reason for it, and that's still going on, huh?
Yeah, when there's no obvious signs of trauma or something, you know, you question it, but also you don't want dead things right by your water source, so it's moving them out just in case you find them. And I was over here and walking along, and you see cattle prints, animal prints, and then 2 human prints, or toe-like human prints.
Yeah, you could see the toe impressions gripping the ground. And what's interesting is that there's not anywhere else. There's not like boot print, and then someone took off their shoes and just has 2 marks, which is whatever it is. It seems to happen a lot.
And someone needs to clip their nails. Look at that.
Yeah, seriously, some long ass toenails. So that it's unusual, no doubt. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and cast them, and appreciate you calling us out.
Well, thanks for checking in. I'm excited to see what you come up with.
Absolutely. So there's Dixie's heel print from her boot. They're not real big, but this isn't fresh. Her boot barely went in. Look how deep those go in. And when you get in here, you can see there's toe marks. They kind of grip when they go down. Definitely a toe mark there. Some human that was heavy, but real heavy, coming out to the water's edge for no apparent reason. But what's crazy is it's just like a lot of these things, it's only 2 feet print, right? Where's the other ones at? There's nothing else around here. So this is basically plaster of Paris, kind of like making pancake batter. We'll get it right here. I think I should have enough to cast them both, but I just don't like to overdo it, because if you make a messed up batch, I'm just going to be in the mixing mode here, making some pancakes, something to cast prints in. All right, Dixie, so I'm gonna get down in the mud here, and we're gonna pour this.
See, what I found interesting is at the end of the toes, it's like somebody's got some damn talons on them.
Yeah, we'll get that. We'll push that up in there and make sure it's all up in there. That was a perfect batch for the one. I'll make another batch for the other one while this is setting up. Give us about 20 minutes here. Okay, so we're going to do the second one here. And this one Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting. Like, who's out here with their long ass toenails, right?
Yeah.
Stomping around on the shoreline for what? And what would you be doing out here? So, while not huge prints, certainly, we're talking about, 10.5 inches. Kind of walking around here a little further down, see if we can find anything else. Stands to reason. We saw some cow prints, raccoons, but nothing like what we just cast, so. Yeah, well, we did come across some. These are older, and they filled them with some water. But look at that. Stride, stride, stride.
Look at this one, James.
And then
That one
right
was
over here.
And
These are
there's
deep.
one. Yeah, look at this one.
Someone's out here walking around. They got stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
See, the difference here is cow prints because they stab straight down. These other big ones over here that were, it's so deep, we step in there, I'm going to sink in the mud, but they're at least 13, 14 inches. And these are cow prints, so there's definitely a difference. And like Dixie said earlier, walking around here in the morning, there's gators everywhere, and it's not accessible. We had to go through a few gates they unlocked to get here. I don't know, man. Weird stuff. All right, what we're going to do here is, while the top of those are dry, I attempted to pull this one up. It's been about 40 minutes and it was starting to crack. And what I got to take into account is the bottom is all muddy, so it's very moist underneath, and hopefully not too wet, because this is a really wet area seeping in through here. So my hope is that I'm going to leave them. Dixie's giving me permission to leave these overnight and let them set up as best we can. I'll come back tomorrow. Pretty eventful. I'm gonna come back tomorrow and check on those prints. Hopefully they'll take. There's water seeping in. But till then, we'll say goodbye to Crowley, lock ourselves out one more night. Be back tomorrow, check on the offering. You never know, right? Catch you then. Back out to Crowley. I let those footprints set up for a couple days. The ground was really wet. My hope is that they don't crack apart and that they actually set up. I don't know how well received that'll be, if at all, but we'll go check it out. Stay tuned. So here we are back 48 hours later. All right, well, let's do this. That'll work. It's going to have a little crack right here, but we can put that together, and then I'll clean them off when I get back and take a look at the other side of them. That's about 10.5 inches long, we measured. Some toenails. I'll see how well those came through. That's pretty interesting. I'm going to set this over here for now. And then let's work on this other one here, which is even closer to the water, so I don't know how.
That one
bad.
came out better, yeah.
Not bad. It is. Well, either, like we said, someone was out here with bare feet when it was 40-something degrees, when there's an electric fence right there, private property, swamp all the way back, not fishing, because if you know anything about casting, you're not going to do it here. And there's only 2 footprints. So as an example, if I were to come here, take my boots off, go, like I can't even sink in as far as that went into the mud at the spot it was, and then just stand here and not take one step forward, no tracks here, not take a step sideways, just stand there is weird. So I don't know what to make of it, but you know, the thing that looks human to me is the narrow heel, maybe the arch, but it's hard to tell. It's not that flat. There's a little bit of an arch, but where the break is, you know, but it's definitely, you know, either someone somehow got here and just was heavy enough to sink down far enough and just stand there in bare feet in 40-something degree weather on private property, navigating an electric live fence, or it's something else. All right, well, I'll get these and clean them up, and we'll follow up on these. End result here, couple 10.5, 11-foot prints, led to nowhere, went to nowhere, couldn't figure out exactly the origin. I'll clean them up, see what we have here. Coming back from Crowley, beautiful night, making my way home, clearly human or something else. Clearly it's got toes, you'll see in the images. I don't know. I mean, what's really weird to me is the fact that standing on that shoreline, there was you could see a couple feet into the water, still water too. It wouldn't like, there would be a footprint, or at least part of one. Nothing going in the water, nothing backtracking out of that stance. So unless something just was physically dropped down there, stood there like a statue and disappeared, I don't know who would do that. There's an electric fence right there that's live. I almost touched it day one. There's thick, swampy areas right before the pasture. It's private property. She's got some entry points that have cameras on them. Didn't see anything. So, and there's not one other track out there similar to that. Cow tracks, animal tracks, our boot tracks, nothing like that. Barefoot, something standing on the shore, not moving, no tracks leading in or out. I don't know. I guess that's why we do it.